Welcome to Mesa Now. I'm your host, Chris Brady.
And I'm Lily King-Cisneros. And Chris, lately I've noticed that we've been having a lot of ribbon cuttings and grand openings here in Mesa.
That's right, Lily. There's been a lot of things taking place in Mesa. Today on our show, we're going to view some of those new projects. We're also going to take the opportunity to meet David Luna from District 5.
And I got a chance to check out a really cool high technology place somewhere where you might not expect.
So stay right there because Mesa Now starts right now. With me now is Ruth Giese. Ruth is the Diversity Program Administrator with the Neighborhood Outreach Department.
Yes, I am.
Welcome to the show, Ruth.
Thank you for having me, Chris.
Sure. So some people, the neighborhood outreach, that kind of makes sense. I know what that is. But tell us, maybe not everybody knows or has heard of the Neighborhood Outreach Department. So what are some of the areas that are included in that department?
Well, neighborhood outreach traditionally is just that. They are divided by districts, and we have 3 outreach coordinators as well as a volunteer manager that is out in the neighborhoods, connecting with neighbors, helping them be organized and learning the resources of the city. And then our volunteer manager in conjunction with that helps assist with all the volunteer programs that we do throughout the city all around. Okay. Also, as part of the Neighborhood Outreach Office is the Diversity Office, which also does outreach in the community. So we're all working together, and we staff this Human Relations Advisory Board. Okay. That's our gateway to the community, so to speak. If there's any issues going on in the community, they can come to the Human Relations Board, and the Diversity Office assists with that as well. Okay. So it's all encompassing.
Right, okay, so that covers quite a bit of territory. Let's talk about some specific programs. Maybe first we go there, let's back up a little bit. We just completed National Day of Service. How did that go? Give us a little idea of what happened here just recently in October across the city.
Well, Make a Difference Day, it's a national effort that the city of Mesa has participated in for several years now, and it seems to get bigger and bigger every year. We had 80, I think it was between 70 and 80 projects going on all throughout the city in every district, and we had about 1,600 volunteers working on a range of projects, whether it be helping with house paintings, curb projects, cleanups. There was lots of activity going on all throughout the city.
So it's amazing. Across the entire city, you had different groups getting up on a Saturday morning, making a difference in their community.
Yes.
Very good. Now we have an ongoing program that we work in the we work with the neighborhoods. So tell us a little bit about your Building Stronger Neighborhoods program and how that works.
Okay. Well, the Building Strong Neighborhoods has been in effect since January of 2007. And as of June of this year, we've actually had 42 Building Strong Neighborhood initiatives. Right. And what that is we, one neighborhood in each district each year, we work with the council member to pick a neighborhood. We go in and we survey the neighborhood. We do door-to-door surveys as well as mail to find out what they're thinking that their issues might be, whether it be that they don't know their neighbors, maybe there's speeding in their neighborhood. And we receive those surveys, and then shortly thereafter, we have a kickoff meeting, and we invite every single household in that neighborhood to the kickoff meeting. And there they learn about all the resources available to them. All our main city departments are there, our nonprofits are there. We work with the local businesses as well and invite them because they're part of the neighborhood as well. And we introduce ourselves, so to speak, at that kickoff meeting. And then we ask the neighbors themselves to sign up for action teams. And in small groups, they work together, they get to know each other, and they actually are empowered to make a difference in their own neighborhood with the assistance of the Neighborhood Outreach Office. And what's wonderful about that is that we develop some really great key contacts that become their neighborhood leaders. We register the neighborhood. They now get to know everything that's going on in the city because we do monthly email blasts to everyone.
Okay.
We currently have 413 registered neighborhoods throughout the
Wow.
city. So it's just our way of introducing ourselves and giving them the resources they need to make a better neighborhood for themselves. And then we work with them to continue the effort. You know, we might suggest a block party, maybe join the Block Watch program with the Mesa Police Department. But they're connected to us because our outreach coordinators make sure of that. And so we don't let them go to the wayside. We work
Right.
with them and we continue to do so. And there's always a volunteer program tied in with that Building Strong neighborhood, whether it be a wall painting or we get dumpsters out there, we do a clean sweep, we get everyone to, you know, get rid of things that they might no longer need. If there's alleys there, we do a cleanup. So we really are there for a full 4 weeks of help, and then we continue to engage them thereafter.
Okay, that's a pretty comprehensive program, been very successful across the city. So if I'm a resident, I want to find out more information how I can participate maybe in the coming months or coming years or something like that. What do I do to get on that list?
Well, you can contact our office, of course. You can contact me directly at 644-5033. You can go to our website. Our department is on the city's website. It's the Neighborhood Outreach Department.
Okay.
There's the ability to type in your address right on the website, and it'll tell you who your outreach coordinator is, depending on what district you're in. So you can either call them directly or call any of us, and we will work with you, because you don't have to be a neighborhood that's going to be part of that Building Strong Neighborhood Initiative. We will work with any neighborhood,
Okay, good.
no matter what.
Good.
And we'll be happy to do so.
Okay, and you mentioned this in our conversation, but one of the responsibilities you have under neighborhood outreach is the volunteer coordination. And so there's an individual in your office that helps coordinate those projects. If someone's looking for an opportunity to serve, or they have something that needs to be done with needs volunteers, you have a contact in your office also that they can help you out with that.
Yes, and if you're on that same website at the Neighborhood Outreach, the volunteer icon is there.
Okay.
But our volunteer manager is Michelle Alvis. Of course, you can contact me directly, and I will forward that information. There is the ability to sign up if you have a neighbor that might be in need. We have a Helping Neighbors program. If you're interested in volunteering, you can get right on there and look at all the projects available to volunteer with. And if you're in need of assistance, then we will work with you as well. So it's pretty easy.
Very good. Well, thanks, Ruth, for being on the show today. Appreciate a lot of good information. Up next, Lily takes us on a tour where technology and innovation meet.
This is where ideas come to life, and it's located right here at the Red Mountain Library. Let's go and check it out. So have you been to ThinkSpot here before?
This spot? No. It's outside. I come to the Library of Tampa. Never came like inside here. Never seen one of these. Actually, in action, I've heard of them, but it's the first time I've seen one. Pretty awesome.
So what do you think so far?
I think it's cool. It's amazing. Technology is amazing.
ThinkSpot is a collaborative workspace with free access to high-tech equipment like a 3D printer, a virtual holograph computer, green screen, smartboard, editing systems, and Mediascape tables.
I tend to get more brain power out of coming here. I mean, just take a look around. If you're a creative person and you're into new technologies like the iMac, like Apple, like green screen technology, I mean, here's just absolutely awesome to put down ideas and go away refreshed.
I really think that it's great that the library is giving this to people for free. That's amazing.
ThinkSpot also offers workshops and events. You can check out their calendar online at mesathinkspot.org. So what are you waiting for? Come on down to ThinkSpot and check them out, located at 635 North Power Road.
We're really excited about ThinkSpot and what it will bring to the community at the Red Mountain Library. But with me today is to talk about the Red Mountain Library and what's happening at ThinkSpot. We have our library director, Heather Wolf. Heather, welcome.
Good afternoon.
And then we also have Sarah Prosseri.
Yes.
Am I saying it right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. who is overseeing the ThinkSpot. So we're really excited to have both of them here. Talk a little bit more in depth about what ThinkSpot is and kind of how it's working, what our vision for it is going first. So first of all, Heather, tell us a little bit about what's going on generally with ThinkSpot. What's kind of how does it fit in with what's going on at the library?
Well, libraries have always been about getting information to the people. So what we are trying to do with ThinkSpot is we're taking it another step. We're trying to get people access to digital information and the skills to use digital information by providing equipment and training and technology. And then we hope that they will be able to create their own content in ThinkSpot and have something to show the world about their creativity and their innovation after using our ThinkSpot resources.
Okay, very good. All right, Sarah, so we've had the grand opening. It's been a little while going on, so tell us a little bit about what kind of things can we expect, or what's been going on since the grand opening?
Well, we've had quite a lot of different types of people come in, ranging from young adults using the 3D printer, our Z-Space, which is the holographic computer, and learning about video and photo editing. And then we've got all the small business owners coming in as well. We've had a few that have taken videos, short little commercials that they're planning to put on their website to showcase their skills in whatever their business is.
Okay, so then once they create that video, then what are they typically doing with it?
So they film the video and then they edit the video. And when they like it, and what's best about ThinkSpot is there's no fees, everything's free.
Right.
So they can keep editing and filming until they're happy with it.
Right.
And then they're putting it on their own websites.
So posting it
to
up.
post, so people can see who they are and what their business is.
Oh, very good. Okay, good. So other than business, what other groups do you expect to use ThinkSpot?
Well, we've had a bunch of teens actually in the last few weeks.
Good.
And this week I'm going to be having a group who has their own band. And so I've got one of the band leaders going to come in tomorrow, I think, to test out his guitar and singing. So our studio we're going to see how that goes.
Okay.
So we've had some teens sing, and we've had them make videos and, learning that kind of stuff.
So kind of where do you see the future of ThinkSpot? What do you see the most popular, right now, what's popular? Where do you think it evolves to?
Well, over the past month, I think the 3D printer as well as the studio are our most popular features. And so along with, we're going to have a lot more professionals come in and train on the software that we have on our iMacs. We're going to have professionals come in and teach about 3D design. So I kind of see us going in that direction, but we're very open to the community and what their interests are. And hopefully when they come to check us out, they'll suggest stuff. We have a book, an idea book for them to write their ideas down. So it could change. Next year we could be doing something different.
Okay. So you brought some show and tell items. Tell us a little bit about what you have there.
So I brought some items that we've actually printed on our 3D printer.
Okay.
And it ranges from, fun stuff like our blue pumpkin and our little jack-o'-lantern with the little head that comes off, the little hat. And then we've got, this is for learning fractions. So it's parts of a whole. So kids can take it apart and see what 1/3 is, 1/3 of a whole. And so it's just ideas of stuff that you can create with a 3D printer, like this is a nut and a bolt.
So Sarah, we would think, some people think about the 3D printer, and we complain about how long it takes to print out a page these days. How long, give us an example for some of those pumpkins. How long does that take a 3D printer to create?
Exactly. This took 6 hours and 48 minutes.
So if you're coming to the library and thinking you can knock that out in a couple of minutes, that's probably not going to happen. Is that right?
Yes, that's true. We ask that if you have a design that you already have in 3D, that you bring your file and we schedule a little appointment so that we can dedicate our time to your print.
Right.
And perhaps maybe you can come back and pick it up because we wouldn't want you to stay for
Right.
6 hours. But yeah, something like this was about 20 minutes. So
Okay.
it kind of varies depending on, this is hollow, so it just
Pretty
depends.
amazing, though, that can all be done today.
Yes.
From a file, digital file, right? They put in there and it prints
Exactly.
that out. Okay. So Heather, this is kind of a new frontier for libraries. What are you thinking? Where do we go from here with libraries? Is this a future? Are there other things we should think about?
Well, I think, like I said at the beginning, libraries have always been about information and getting that out to the public. Our world is changing. Information is coming in different formats. So we're trying to stay up on those trends and making sure that we're still providing that information to people, whatever format it comes in, whatever container it comes in. And I'm really excited about ThinkSpot because I think it took a couple of things that many libraries are playing with. Makerspaces, which is the 3D printer, as an example of that. The studio space, we talked about the filming and the editing that's going on. And then also the collaborative workspace that we just barely touched on, that we do have a space where people can come and sit and work on things. There's whiteboards, there's a smart board, there's video conferencing technology. There's lots of ways that people can connect with people who are not here in Mesa.
Right. Good.
And I think we're unique in that we're combined all three of those things into one space. And like Sarah said, we're just kind of starting out. We're throwing a bunch of things out there. We'll see what people like and want to see more of. And we're hoping that they'll have lots of ideas of other things we should explore.
Great. Well, congratulations to both of you for bringing this forward and getting this implemented. It's pretty exciting. So congratulations for doing that. We'll look for exciting things to happen at ThinkSpot. So again, we want to thank Heather and Sarah for joining the show today. If you are interested in ThinkSpot, you can go to the Red Mountain Library. It's kind of situated in the back portion of the library. And there, look for Sarah and she'll help you out. So we're excited about ThinkSpot. Recently, we had a ribbon cutting and a grand opening event for the new police station that was located in the Fiesta District. It's been 10 years since the police department has opened up a new station. And here to talk about our new station at the Fiesta District Police Station is Commander Mark Wesselman. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So first of all, congratulations on opening up the new substation. Pretty exciting to have that opened up. Tell us a little bit about where you were before and what were the conditions in the previous location where most of the activities that are now located in Fiesta District. Where were you before and what was it like?
Okay, we were in the Dobson substation, which was located at 2505 South Dobson Road out in Dobson Ranch. The building itself was approximately 32 years old. I think our side of it was about 8,000 square feet, and we were very overcrowded. We were in overcrowded conditions in that station.
So it was much older space, very cramped. Today, how much square footage would you have comparatively?
Well, the new station is approximately 34,000 square feet. And
It's almost four times as much space.
Correct. It has several areas that the old station didn't have.
So for example, what are some new features you have today?
Well, we have a holding facility inside the new station.
Okay, what is a holding facility?
All right, it's a jail, and we can hold prisoners there temporarily.
But not for a long period of time?
No, the most we'll hold someone in our jail is probably 2 to 3 hours that it takes an officer to process their prisoner.
Okay.
We think our station, we have 2 holding cells and we have 2 juvenile holding cells. We think mostly what we'll use it for is for juvenile holding.
Okay.
The adult prisoners that we bring in there will be housed there just temporarily for a couple hours while the officers work on their paperwork before they release the prisoner or transport them to county. If we're going to have to book them on a misdemeanor charge, most officers will take those prisoners directly to the jail downtown.
Okay, good. So the holding facility, what else does it have?
We have a community room, which we're very proud of, and we've used quite a bit already. The community room will seat up to 110 people. We have trainings that are currently scheduled in the community room, and we've also had some community members come in for meetings already since we've been open.
Okay. Anything else?
Well, we have a real briefing room.
You have a real briefing room. We don't have a little side room there.
The old briefing room was in what used to be the Arizona Federal Credit Union, where the workers worked, did their banking business. That became our briefing room when we had to put our detectives in our old briefing room. So right now our new briefing room will seat 32 officers, and it's stadium type seating, and it has 2 monitors in the front of the room that the sergeants display the information on.
Okay.
So it's wonderful.
Good. And then let's talk a little bit about what's happening overall, kind of from the energy efficiency standpoint of the building. Okay. Let's talk about the parking first. What's unique about your covered parking that you have?
Well, first of all, having covered parking is unique.
Okay.
And then secondly, the 3 center rows in our parking lot the cover is actually solar panels. Just a couple years ago, when you put in a parking structure, you would have a roof to the structure and then the panels would go on top of the roof. Now, the roof is actually the panels. So it's quite interesting.
So not only provides shade, but it's also generating power to offset some of the power consumption from the building.
That's correct. We estimated initially that we thought the solar panels would provide 60% of the power to the building. It's actually much higher than that. But
really?
Yes, it is. It's, I guess I can tell you, the first month we actually provide 100% of the energy that we used. It was totally covered by the solar power.
Wow.
It's more than we expected, and it's wonderful.
Wow, well, that's great. Now let's talk about the location. Where is it located?
All right, the location is 1010 West Grove.
So the intersection of?
It's basically the intersection of Alma School and Southern.
Okay.
Just a little bit off that intersection. It's right in the middle of our district. It's a great location. We're right in the middle of the action. It's good for the people who live there and for the businesses in that area.
Okay. And the officers, the men and women that work there, what's their impression so far?
I've heard nothing but positive comments. They're very happy. We didn't really know until we'd been out of the old station what conditions. We knew the conditions weren't ideal,
right.
But going back now, it's been very eye-opening.
Right.
With the way it looks, the old station, the way it looks, the way it smells even. It was much worse than we thought. And everybody in the new station is extremely happy. Morale was good before, but to see police officers as happy as they are now, it's great.
Great, good.
Yeah.
So from a crime fighting standpoint, are there some elements in the new facility, at least technology-wise, do you think that will assist you in that effort?
Well, there are. I mean, we have, like, as an example, we have 5 interview rooms in the new station. We didn't have that in the old station either. The interview rooms are all set up with video monitoring, so the detectives can communicate while they're conducting the interviews, and criminal intelligence work can be done while the detectives are speaking with suspects. As an example, we'll have other detectives in a monitoring room that can be doing computer work to determine if what they're telling us is true, if we can verify any information. So that's one thing. The other thing is just the overall building itself. It sets a tone for the officers when they come to work. From the minute they drive in to when they go to a professional briefing room, it puts them in the right mind frame to go out and fight crime. And one thing that we're going to do that we haven't been able to do yet is we're going to have bicycle patrols in the Fiesta District. I have 9 police bikes ready to go.
Oh, nice.
I have some officers who are trained, but I want to have a full-time squad, and we're still trying to work out the details of that. Once we have that, they can patrol their area on bicycles, and they can get closer to the community and actually ride up on crime that's occurring.
Yeah.
People won't see them coming from a mile away in a black and white police car. So that's another thing we're doing. The other thing we have is we have a watch command center for the lieutenants. And that's important because they have administrative work that they have to do as well as taking care of the business in the field.
Right.
So now while they're in the station, they can actually monitor all the activity that's occurring. They can see what calls are holding. They can see all the calls that their officers are on, and they can look at maps. And it's really good for them to be able to monitor the entire city. A lot of times the lieutenants are the only lieutenant on duty for the whole city. We try to have at least 2.
Wow.
But there are times where we have 1, and now they can actually, if they have to be in the office for a little bit, they can still keep track of what's going on in the field.
Okay.
So that's good too.
Great. So a lot of good things going on. Appreciate your work, and we're excited to have this new facility here in Mesa. We want to thank Mark Wesselman for being here on the show today. and for all the men and women who serve in the Mesa Police Department. With me now is newly appointed Councilmember David Luna. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chris. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, glad to have you on board. So I use the word appointed Councilmember, not newly elected. So let's remind everybody a little bit about how you came to be the new Councilmember for District 5.
Well, there was an opening because Councilwoman Higgins resigned from serving the City Council. And so there was an opening, so I decided to apply. There were, I believe there were 21 applicants, only 17 were qualified, and it was whittled down to 4 members. And so I was interviewed among 4 people, very fully qualified people that wanted the position of city council persons, and I was fortunate enough to get selected.
Great, and we're glad to have you on board.
Thank you.
So share with us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, it's really interesting to be on a television set, because I'm the behind-the-scenes person, and I was complimenting your staff and talking to them about that, because I've been in television for over 35 years now, and primarily in the educational sector. I've worked for Mesa Public Schools for 25 years. Prior to that, I worked at Tucson Unified School District doing television.
Okay, very good.
I was born and raised in Douglas, Arizona.
Right, okay.
So I'm an Arizona native.
Awesome.
And in the mid-70s, I decided to attend the University of Arizona. That's where I earned my bachelor's degree.
Okay.
I moved to Mesa, was hired as Director of Educational Television for Mesa School District. And during that time, I worked towards my master's degree, and I earned a master's from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Telecommunications. And then I decided a few years ago that maybe I could retire, so I decided to go ahead and do that. And in the meantime, people would ask, what are you going to do? Now you have extra time. And so some friends encouraged me to get my doctorate, so I did. I applied for it. And what was funny is I didn't think I was going to get accepted.
Right.
And then I got accepted, and I go, oh, now I've got to commit to it. So actually, it was a very rewarding experience, and I really enjoyed doing that.
So we should call you Dr. Luna.
You can call me whatever you want, Chris.
Very good. That's very impressive. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Sure.
Now you've been on board for a couple months now. I think that's right. Yeah.
Close. A little over 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
6 weeks, not quite 2 months. Right. Any first impressions of kind of what you expected, what you didn't expect, kind of what, how have things played out for you?
Well, I've been incredibly busy. I've never been as busy as I am now in my entire life. Simply because it's an opportunity for me to learn about how city government operates. So it's been actually a very rewarding experience for me. It's quite fascinating. I'm totally fascinated. I've been in education for practically all my life, and to learn a new form of, to learn the city government has been really, really fascinating to me.
Okay, good. Any surprises beyond that, or just other than just keeping busy and meeting a lot of different people and?
Just keeping busy, meeting a lot of different people, meeting many constituents, and being able to represent the people of District 5. It's been quite rewarding, actually.
Good.
I went to the THINKspot, which is a real cool thing happening in Mesa. It's a very innovative center, so people can learn about technology and innovation at a library on the Red Mountain Library, so that's really been cool.
Good.
I went to Celebrate Mesa last weekend. It was amazing. We had so many community members there, and the City of Mesa did a great job to educate the community about the different services they provide. And there's a lot more activities to come.
Good. So you have, your time on council will be, what, about maybe 12, 15 months, something like that,
Right.
I think. Are we six weeks into it? Any thoughts about areas that you're mostly concerned about you'd like to spend some time on over the next year or so?
Actually, I'm quite fascinated with the whole economic development piece of it. I've met with Bill
Janiak?
Yeah,
we just call him Bill.
Yeah, Bill. Yeah, he told me just to call him Bill. And I'm very fascinated with that aspect of city government and how economic development plays into city and how it works to promote the city. And that's simply something we want to do.
Very good. Yeah. No, it's, I think one thing that surprises a lot of people about local governments, how many different things we're involved in.
Right.
It's pretty comprehensive.
Right, it's quite comprehensive. There are many facets of city government. You talk about roads, you talk about technology infrastructure, certainly water and electricity. There are many, many facets of city government that I've had an opportunity to really learn about.
Good.
And you have an amazing staff. Your staff has been very amazing.
Thank you.
And I've sat with many of them, and they've educated me on a number of issues affecting the city of Mesa. And it's been quite rewarding and quite fascinating.
Good. Well, that's one thing. If you know you're doing your job right, if you're learning something new almost every day,
Right.
because there's plenty of opportunity for that to happen.
Absolutely. And I've learned much more than I thought I would ever learn in my life. It's like getting a doctorate in city government.
Yeah. You'll go through that. Well, very good. We're glad to have you on board.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, and we want to welcome Councilmember Luna, and we look forward to working with him over the next several months.
So Chris, recently we had an election in regards to 2 bond projects, one for public safety and one for streets. Can we talk a little bit about what those 2 projects entail?
Yeah, first of all, we're excited that the voters approved these 2 proposals. As you mentioned, they're split into 2 parts. The first one has to do with public safety. And under the public safety, really focused on communications. That was important. We need to upgrade our communication system that we have now. We need to create more redundancy in our communication system for our public safety employees so that when they're out in the field, they can be assured that they've got, be able to have communications back under any circumstance. So that's an important part. Also on the fire side, one of the important elements was replacing about 15 fire trucks. So they've come up in their useful life, their cycle. It's time to replace those. They're they're not cheap. They're very expensive pieces of equipment. And so we'll be purchasing those over the next couple of years, but the bond package gives us the funds so we can start replacing those fire trucks. And then another area that probably is of interest to some folks in the police department, we've allocated dollars to replace one of our older helicopters. And those helicopters play a very critical role in police services and programming. It's amazing the difference by having eyes in the sky for the police officers on the ground, that someone up above can kind of be monitoring the situation, what's happening down below, and they're in constant communication. So having a fleet of helicopters is very important for us. So we're excited on the public safety that those got approved, and we'll be able to implement those over the next couple of years.
And the street bond project is quite robust too as well, right?
Yes, it is. This is really the way that cities finance the construction of new streets or the major rehabilitation of existing streets. So we're going to see a little bit of both of those in this program. Notably, we'll continue to reconstruct Mesa Drive as it comes from Highway 60 going north. We're going to pick it up where it's completed south of Broadway Road and bring it all the way up to Main Street. So that it's not convenient to be under construction, but it'll be nice to have that project completed. The other project that we have going on that's similar in nature is the continuation of Southern, continue to build that out. We're already under construction, whether it be north of the Fiesta Mall, so continuing that across from MCC and hoping to help revitalize that area as we continue to remodel or reconstruct Southern Avenue. Then we have in there packages for other street projects across the city. I know in one of the council districts they're trying to do a street that kind of has, try to create more opportunities for pedestrians and bicyclists to go through and connect that into some paths. We've got some money set aside to do some street projects that will support economic development. That's always important. So it's kind of the bread and butter stuff, nothing too fancy, not too exotic in these packages. So with this approval, we'll be able to continue to invest in Mesa.
That's awesome. And people can actually go online to mesaaz.gov/bonds to read a little bit more about it to find additional information there. So
very good. Thank you, Lily. We'd like to thank all of our guests on this episode of Mesa Now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.